Hey friends, Greg here with the Pennywise guys. I want to show you an installation of a washing system on this solar structure, and I'm going to show you the process of how I do it. I also want to ask you to like our videos. It would really help us to be able to get more good content out. I've got a lot of great stuff coming up over the next 6 months, so I really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Let's get started. All right, we're going to go from this outside cornered post on this structure to put the wash system on the north side of the structure. I had to dig a trench to the water source right over by the house there. 4 to 6 inches deep is all you need. Schedule 40, 1/2 inch PVC schedule 40. So I want to show you a little trick here. So go ahead and cut the grass on both sides of the trench and flip the dirt back, so you actually have the sod with the dirt that'll be put back in place, so we're not going to lose the grass. To go through underneath that concrete, I don't know if you guys know that you can do hydro digging, and let me show you the tool that I use. Let me get back here in the shade so we can actually see it. What I do is I build my own. I put a 1/2 inch pipe with a fitting that goes to a water hose connection, and on the other end I have a coupler so I can lengthen the pipe if needed. This one only is about 4 foot wide, and then what you do is you take the 1/2 inch and you bell it down to the 1/4 inch size. So you can get a fitting that goes from 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch. Put a 1/4 inch nipple, about inch and a half nipple on the end, and that gives you really high pressure coming out of that end. So then you go ahead and dig your trench. You place your hose on the end of this thing. You turn the water on and you start just jamming it in like this, and that water is digging the dirt out as you go, so that you can just keep going down the line until you can get to the other side. Okay, it's called hydro digging. You can make your own, very easy to do, and you can lengthen that pipe to any length you want, and you can keep adding lengths as you go. Okay, so we got the pipe fed underneath there. We're going to go ahead and tie it into this faucet here. I got it stubbed up right down here. All right, we're going to go ahead and start installing the injector for the soap on the wash system here. I'm going to go ahead and take that faucet off and put a T in there and tee that off, and we're going to go ahead and go into the what's called the Hydro Feed 24-ounce fertilizer injector. Get this on Amazon. I'll include a link at the bottom of the page here to show you where to get the parts, and we'll go ahead and get that installed on that T. It's all completed here. I went ahead and ran the 1/2 inch PVC pipe from that point that comes up in the ground across. Did a hose connection there on the PVC hose connection, then went with a garden hose, section of garden hose up to the injector. The injector is connected to the valve. This is a shutoff valve. Here's the arm to the shutoff valve. So on and off. It's a ball valve. I like ball valves. With a hose connector that goes to the hose fitting here. The flow, make sure you get the right flow. It goes that way. It says on top of here, flow, okay? And then, of course, connected to the hose fitting here. Since I wasn't able to mount this against the wall because of the conduit and the pipe work, it was all just too tight there. I left it out away from the wall and added a surveyor stake or a concrete form stake, 2.5 feet, whatever it takes to get down into the ground, and give you a solid point to bolt your injector to the stake. So that gives a nice solid. So what happens is, this is plastic, and in the heat of the summer, this could heat up, and with the weight of that water, bow down and then possibly start leaking. So by adding the support with the concrete form stake down to the ground, that way you can leave it away from the wall and not have to attach it to the wall, because I just had too much stuff here and I needed to be out here where the T is. So to do it back there and tee it, then the hose would be too kinked, and this outlet hose would be interfered with that. So I figured it'd be best to have it out about 5-6 inches away from the wall with that concrete stake. Okay, it worked out really well. All right, I'm building the manifold right now. I'm going to show you the PVC pipe that goes up the pole, and I go up to a 90 right up there in that corner. I'll get it connected a little bit later because I'm going to make a correction at the bottom. I go across here, another 90, and I go up to a T. Okay, let me show you the piece that I've made to go across. It's 22 inches. It goes to the edge of the panel on this right side of the structure. I use an elbow with a 1/2 inch slip fitting that has the 1/2 inch threads. I use a 1 1/4 inch piece of pipe to glue it together. Okay, and then that threads into the Rainbird. All right, I got the sprinkler head mounted on the one side here. It's lined up with the edge of the panel. It's about a few inches above, but that's okay. It doesn't create any shadow because the sun is not at that much of an angle to create shadow. The sprinkler head pops up a few inches to do its sprinkling action. This is a Rainbird 32SA. It goes up to 34 feet in distance, and you can dial it back to anything you want. We're going to dial it back to 17 feet on this one. You can actually do 360 degrees or anything in between there, and this one be set at 90 degrees, so it'll go from the edge a 90 degree to the middle. So both ends will be 90 degrees. The middle one will be 180 with good overlap. I strapped it with the 3/4 inch EMT strap with a tech screw, self-tapping, self-drilling tech screw, and then that sprinkler head screws on really nicely, and it actually is up against there to where it won't turn. You can actually leave it loose enough to make adjustments, and we'll show you that when we get these things adjusted. Okay, there's no need to put a strap on the little 10-inch vertical piece here. It's strapped down below here. Okay, that's good. And then we're going to go ahead and now glue in our next 10-foot section down the line, and we're going to put a head in the middle and one on the other end. I'm strapping it about every little over 4 feet down the line. Later on I'll come back and put some more brackets in, but right now every 4 feet. There's the middle section, that T there with the fitting on it. Okay, and then all you got to do is see from that last one-hole strap, that 10-foot length I just glued into that T fitting, and it bends down to the ground, and it's hanging off the ground, so it'll support it. And then I'll go ahead and start putting the clamps on every little over about 4 foot 2, 4 foot 3, whatever, a little over 4 feet, doesn't matter. Another note on those one-hole straps, they're 3/4 inch EMT straps. I take a pair of pliers and I pinch it a little bit to fit nicely around the pipe. So just give it a little bit of pinch so it just snaps on there, and it works out really well. Okay, and just use the tech screws, and it does a good job. All right, the grass is back in place after the 1/2 inch PVC line was laid. And then we go ahead and come up here. I used a grinder with a concrete wheel, a 4.5 inch concrete grinding disc, and ground that down to where the PVC is an 1/8 inch below the top surface there. So I'll go ahead and pour some new concrete here today, get that filled in. I got the 1/2 inch PVC going up the pipe, and if you'll see right here, it goes up to that flange up there and hits, and it won't lay flat onto the pole. So I'm just going to take my heat gun and heat that up there and bend that in and make it contoured nicely. And then I'll go ahead and strap that, and we'll go ahead and paint up the PVC pipe with the white Rust-Oleum paint, and it'll protect it from the sun, keep it from yellowing, and hide all the blemishes and brackets and everything. Okay, and so we'll take care of that right now, get that buttoned up, and up there is the manifold. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and get that all painted up today as well. All right, I've got the pipe work done, and I got the system turned on. I'm flushing out all the dirt. You got to do that before you put the sprinkler heads on. We got a lot of pressure on the first head, a moderate pressure on the second, and a little bit on the end. So I'm gonna climb up and plug off the top of the first one to get more pressure to flow out any debris on the last one. All right, I go ahead and screw it on. Leave yourself a little bit of play both directions, because the adjustment, you gotta have it be able to turn side to side like I'm doing right here, okay? So just get it somewhat snug, not all the way, and that gives you room for the adjustments. All right, I got the sprinkler heads on. You're gonna get wet during this part, but I've got them squirting everywhere. So the first thing to do is to rotate, find out which need to rotate, get the spray to be pretty much on the panels. Okay, we'll fine tune it, but I got this one about right because it was squirting that way, and I turned it to where it rotating mostly onto the panel. Now we're gonna get up and we're gonna start adjusting the screws. All right, you see this screw right back here? This is for the rotation of it. We're gonna set this one at 90. The smaller screw up here is for the distance. So right now it's squirting too far, so I'm gonna go ahead and tighten that up. I'm gonna have to stop filming so I can get this adjusted. Okay, I'll get the distance first and I'll start working on the rotation. Okay, I got them all dialed in. Once you get the rotation of the main body to keep the spray onto the system, fine tune those adjustments, very, very small increments. Get it set for the 90 degrees on this one and 180 for the middle, 90 for the other side, and then adjust the distance by dialing it down to keep it overspray on the other side, because it will go 32 feet. And this is only 17-foot structure, width of a structure. Anyway, I'm out of breath. Anyway, system's working good. I got good overlap. Everything is doing really well. So just make sure you're ready to get wet, like I did. I got soaked. Normally I bring 5-gallon buckets, put them on each head before I turn the pressure on, and then take one bucket off at a time, get that adjusted, go to the next. You get a little less wet that way, but today I ran off without the buckets. So anyway, it's at least a hot day, so I feel pretty good.
I pray that you are blessed, and that you know Him who is the author of life.